think about money and finances?
Well, the best thing I think money has done for me is giving me a false sense of security. But a false sense of security is better than no sense of security.
Yeah.
It just feels good not to worry about money. So I'm enjoying that. It's an amazing gift to my life, and I don't know, I don't know what could happen tomorrow, but I enjoy today and see how it goes.
I'm looking at you, and I'm looking at guys like Kevin Hart and guys like Marlon Wayans, and there's comedians up on our show every week. I love giving comedians like this platform, and it seemed like it's another explosion happening with comedy. Can y'all tell the difference?
Yeah, I think it's. Well, you go ahead, Donnell. What do you?
I think everything at a certain time things switch over. I think maybe like every 10 years. You know what I mean? You get used to something, you get tired of it, and then something that's new on the horizon comes on, and it shocks everybody. The Dave Chappelle show. Dave Chappelle was a phenom, continued to be a phenom. Kevin Hart right now is a phenom, continued to be a phenom. But one thing I could say, and I mean not just because he's a colleague and my boss, whatever. But it's you can be hot for a second, but to maintain relevance in this business and speaking, this is in regard to Dave, 30 years in the business, and still to be able to entertain people that's older, young, and everything. That's the testament of like what you said at the beginning of it, like what he's done for comedy. And I'm proud to call him my friend and my boss on certain occasions.
Oh,
You're
thanks, sucking
bro.
a lot of dick right there.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
you know
man.
what?
I've never heard you sound like that.
And you know what? And you know
My
what? And you know
God.
what? And you know what? There's some, no, figuratively speaking, there's some truth behind that because you see me come up here a million times and you've never heard me talk about anybody like that. So, if the listeners want to say...
You don't even talk about Dave when you come up here.
Are you speaking of that? Heather B don't even dress like this when I come on the show. And speaking of that, Heather B ain't even supposed to be here today. Speaking of that, you know what I'm saying?
Good point.
So,
honestly,
I
called Heather and said Dave might come through tomorrow. Heather's on vacation, Dave.
Are you? Oh, that's dope.
She came to, yeah.
And it's so funny because yesterday she called me. She'll call me every once in a while for cooking advice and stuff like that, right? What? And it's always like, what grease should I use to fry this? You know what I'm saying? And she it was a regular conversation. I was like, so what you trying to decide on what you going to wear because of tomorrow? She didn't know what I was talking about. So that's my girl. I'm glad she broke her vacation and come up here today.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Hey,
but to answer the original question, there is a comedy explosion.
Yeah, okay, yeah, right? I mean...
You know what I think it is, though, partially? I think that everybody is so disconnected or buried in their phones that one of the reasons comedy is top genre is because of how we engage the audience.
Okay.
It's a very confrontational art form. Mm-hmm. It's all up in your face.
Yeah. You
got to listen, you got to look. You have an actual rapport. It feels nice to be in a comedy club and feel something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You one of the things we found interesting because we came and saw you where were we done now?
Toronto.
In Toronto.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we came and saw you in Toronto, Heather, and I was at that show.
Oh, that was
fun. That was a dope ass show. And the first thing they do is they take your phones.
That's the new shit.
At his shows.
Yeah, at his show you can't have a phone, and they locked it up. That's the first time. Did you come up with that?
I started working with this company Yonder, and it maybe saved my career. Because basically, comedians, we need the element of surprise, and you also need a sense of security that you can make a mistake. A lot of comedians been hitting the wall. Bill Maher wrecked the other week, and Kathy, motherfuckers wreck. It's part of the genre, though. Like you don't want comedians to not take chances in this new world of precision, of social precision, where everyone's talking and living like fucking politicians. I'm not running for anything, nigga. I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want to say. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I'll be wrong, and many times I'll be right. But you have to have the freedom to do it. So I lock people's phones up because it empowers me to do a better show and to be more honest and not just precise.
Be more honest and not just precise. You mentioned Kathy Griffith. She hit a wall when she held the president's head up, and
which was a rough one.
That was a rough one. That was difficult for everybody.
Not for everybody.
A lot of people. Bill Maher got too comfortable and said he was a house nigga, right?
Right.
But you apologize for what you, well, not apologize, but took back what you said on SNL about President Trump. That's the kind of reverse wall.
I did it, but that was just like, it was taken out of context.
Okay.
I didn't jest. I think what I said on Saturday Night Live was exactly what needed to be said at that time.
Okay.
And that there was no recourse. This motherfucker is a duly elected president. You can march up the street all night. That's how the system works. And our person didn't win this time. So be it. You still want the president of the United States to do a good job. But he's clearly having a rough go of it. and I made mention of that at another show. And I said it in front of a crowd of people that I'm sure many of them probably know him personally. Some of them probably donated money to his campaign. They were caked up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But, I didn't actually apologize for saying that. It was funny. I was like, I fucked up. I shouldn't have said that. It was a funny thing to say. But it's not the exact sentiment I feel.
I'm gonna say, I agree with Dave Chappelle on the part of money. Money for sure definitely gives you a false sense of security. But it's also good to have it because the more broke you are, the more worried you become, the more jealous you become, and slowly you're going into the negative side, start being jealous of other people because of their success, because of their words, and our not like that. And the more successful you are, the less you worried about you worry about other people, the less you worry about other people's success. It's money for sure give you a false sense of security, and money is not everything. You can have money with happiness. Money doesn't give happiness. Money brings happiness just for a couple of minutes, and later on you're back to your regular same old you. But money for sure give you a false sense of security. And even though Will Smith and Jada Pinkett are separated, they still live together, and Jada Pinkett wouldn't have to worry about money at all in her entire life. Let's continue listening to Dave.
Oh, that's an apology.
Wasn't an apology.
Wow.
Greatest moment in radio, by the way. Greatest moment in radio.
I had that locked for like ever, dog.
That was the greatest moment in radio.
The greatest moment in radio?
Yeah.
You like that, Dave?
I thoroughly enjoyed that.
What did you like about it?
Well, Kanye did this thing where he had like a slow boil. And while you were talking, you could see Ye boiling, and it was, which was endearing. And then you could see that frustration. It was a very honest moment. And then you guys flared up for a second, and then everyone remembered that everything was gonna be okay. It was just it had a very complete arc to it. It was
magic.
Wildly. That's exactly what you want to have happen on the radio.
Sure.
Well, I'm glad, man, I'm glad we can entertain you, man.
Yo, man, your show was great. There's a kid. I live in Ohio. There's this kid. Every day I see him, all he wants to do is rap. That's all he talks about. That's all he dreams about. He makes these beats. I actually used one of his beats in one of my specials, but then I cut it out.
I'm dying.
Why you cut it out?
Just because I couldn't clear. He had a sample in there that was expensive to clear, and there's some technical shit. But the kid's like an earnest kid. I like when he's around because he really loves hip hop music, and he looks up to people like you like a giant. And he drove to Detroit, and you let him freestyle on the radio.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And it was one of the proudest moments of his life. And then Kweli ended up doing a song with him.
Wow. So it went full circle.
Yeah, it was real nice. Anyway, you do that one morning for somebody and you'll forget about it, but you don't understand that this guy, this was like a pinnacle of his current repertoire of achievements.
Wow.
Like just being around you and around me. Like the things that you do for people, the things that you do for culture. Like I see some of my opening acts like Donnell, like Ali Wong, she blew up off this. Now I'll be opening for her. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And it makes me feel proud to see, like, it's people coming up. Well, I forgot why I brought that up.
No, but I liked it because it sounds good to me. All right. Well, people feel the same about a similar way about you. We had Chris Rock up here, and we do this thing called Battle of the Best, and we have the guests sit their name in the.
When it comes to celebrity stars and comedies and all like that, Dave Chappelle does his absolute best. Dave Chappelle does his absolute best when it comes to like taking people's phones, right? It's good because you might say something and somebody might record it and upload it online, or maybe plagiarize your content, which it's not a good thing to do. So I really agree with him on the part of taking people's phones. And Dave Chappelle is more like a big brother to a lot of comedians, and he knows how to treat comedians very, very well, especially like help upcoming comedians be successful. It is an astonishing thing, I must say. Something that is very, very good. Very, very great.